Hello and welcome back to another episode on the channel by me, TheWiseJames. Hope you're all doing well out there, wherever you are. Sad news, first of all, with Ozzy Osbourne has passed away. May he rest in peace. Hulk Hogan has now also passed away. May he rest in peace. They usually go in threes, so I'm hoping there'll be no more, but we know there will be. So today's video I'm going to be reacting to is from Simp Saver Sam, and it's this one. White people are scum. So she says, this woman instantly regrets throwing food at a man's girlfriend for being white. I can't stand racist people. Like, a black person who's racist to white people is no different to, like, a member of the KKK who's racist to black people. It's no different. It's no different. So let's get into it.
Here's how I quit grocery shopping but still cook like a pro.
Right there. There we go. Thanks for the content, Sam, as always.
Call the police. What
are you running away for? What was that about?
White people are inferior.
White people are inferior?
I did that because I wanted to. Call the police.
You throw food at my girlfriend who's white because white people are inferior?
Yeah.
No, it's because she's probably jealous of your girlfriend and she's trying to get your attention, probably. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't have any
wow.
to speak to you. Call the police, it's fine. Are you gonna keep following me?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep following you.
What are you gonna do?
We'll find out where you work.
No, you're not gonna find me.
Yeah, we'll. You're gonna go viral.
5 minutes later.
I don't want to be in helicopters.
Get in. Like, that's what you deserve as a racist. Like, that's what you deserve. That's literally what you deserve. You're being arrested by a black man for being racist against a white man.
Happy days. I find it pretty crazy that people like this actually exist. Like, how you can have that much hate in your heart. I guarantee you she walks through life saying anything and everything is racist when she in fact is the definition of racism.
Oh yeah, she's a racist. She's a racist piece of shit, that's what she is, there's no doubt about it, Sam. She's no different to a member of the KKK, except she doesn't know it, because she's that thick.
But there's this weird thing in the world that when something happens to a white person, it's not labelled as racist. Like the comments of this video aren't, you know, there's a lot of them saying it's racist, but a lot of them are saying like it's deserved and all.
There's a lot of women who think men can't be sexually assaulted as well, Sam. So, oh, you like it, sort of thing.
All this stuff. If it was the other way around, we already know those comments. I'm just glad she got arrested because I honestly thought she was going to get away, so that was great to see. Hopefully her employer saw this and sacked her because she's a...
Yeah, and she would never get a job again, probably.
A flipping donut.
You're so angry.
Because I should have the right to my own uterus.
Yeah, but what about the rights of the unborn child? That's
They're
in the rule.
unborn. They're unborn.
So they don't have any rights. That's like slavery.
It is like slavery.
Yeah,
And you,
so
as a Christian, want to tell me about
unborn children don't have any rights, just like slaves.
if you
People in the background are so loud, the cars and that, you can barely hear.
want to twist my legs like that, yeah.
Well, that's what you just said.
Actually, you said that. Actually, yeah, girl, tell them. Tell me that. Tell them.
When?
Or, you know, you could just keep your legs closed. Instead of killing babies, you know, you could keep your legs closed. I mean, it's just a crazy idea here. You manly looking trollop, you know. You could just, you know, keep your legs closed. Instead of killing babies, you know. You could do that. It's just an idea. Instead of blaming men.
Where's your arguments? Where's your arguments? You have none. You have none.
Mama was right. She's supposed to have that kid.
Why are you so vulgar? Baby killers.
Whoa.
Aggressive.
That's a crime. Vandalism. That's a crime. And she thinks it's funny.
Aggressor! Aggressor!
Here we go.
Aggressor! 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 Aggressor!
She's got that crazy look in her eyes. She's running.
She's gonna get arrested now. It's vandalism. She's going to get arrested.
Wow.
You know when someone is literally trying to silence you, you've already won, because there's someone out there who is so scared of what you're saying that they're trying to stop you from being able to say it, right? So if you get to that point where someone's trying to silence you, not by a little bit, by a lot, you've definitely hit the mark. You've definitely hit the right button, my friend. Definitely hit the right button. Because if I've got someone who's saying something stupid, I might correct them, but I won't try and silence them. People will only try and silence people who subconsciously they know are right, but they don't want other people to know it. That's why they try and silence you instead of letting you look a stupid idiot. Because they don't want you to make them look like a stupid idiot, alright?
That's stupid!
If she disagreed with it that much, at least present an argument or something. And at the end of the day, if you don't agree with it, you don't have to rip the sign down and shout and swear and do all this stuff. You can just carry on walking, because you're never gonna walk through life and anything and everything is gonna be what you agree with and what your opinions align with. That's not how the world works. The way this man was watching me buckle my belt extender, I had no clue.
I think he was wondering how you were going to fit.
What'd he do?
He didn't understand how she was going to get it around her until she extended it. And he was seeing what she was doing. Like, he did nothing wrong. He literally did nothing wrong.
First and foremost, why is she recording this? And two, that guy was probably looking at, damn, that seat has some good suspension.
How much does a man have to make today?
Here we go.
Well, living in Toronto, you at least need to make 100,000. So I'm gonna say at least 100,000.
These look like crackheads you would pick up on a street corner, and they think they deserve £100,000 man. Are they having a laugh? Literally.
Seat has some good suspension.
You at least need to make 100,000. So I'm gonna say at least that.
They literally look like some lady boys on a street corner. What the fuck? They think they're worth 100 grand a year.
100,000.
Well, that's like me saying, I am such a good man. I am worth 1 million women. That's the same thing. It's delusional. It's delusional.
It depends on where the guy is in life. What if they're like a student?
So no accountability for you. It's all about him.
I'm a student. I'm not making a lot. Like I make like 40K max. Like they can.
If you're a student, you shouldn't really be earning any money, because all your money should go into studying, shouldn't it? Right? How do you have time to run a full-time job and get 40,000 a year if you're a student? You're not a student, are you? You're a part-time student and working full-time. You're not really a student, then, are you?
They need their 40K. I don't know.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, guys, I think we're cooked. And I'm not in America, but 40k for a student, that's a lot.
A student is not earning £40,000 a year. The only money a student gets is for student loans. And that money is spent on their education, their rent and their bills, and their stuff for their course, like their pencils, their pens, the stuff they need to pass the course. Like, what planet are these women on? Are they thinking that male students are just walking around with full-time jobs and loads of money in their bank account? Like, what? Male students are literally probably the poorest people in education.
That's a hell of a lot of money, 40k a year, and she's a student. Guys, American viewers, you have to let me know, is that normal?
You can literally raise a family on £40,000 a year in the north of England. You can raise a family on that. But in the south, you'd struggle to pay for your own rent.
Because if it is, I'm living in the wrong place, I'll tell you.
So WN.
You are, Sam. The north's much cheaper. But Far more dangerous.
NBA players were wearing a t-shirt that reads, "Pay us what you owe us."
That's funny.
Let's do the math.
Don't they owe like 100 million each or something because, or 75 million each because the women's NBA is 400 million in debt to the men's NBA because it's been subsidized by the men's NBA because they can't make a profit because nobody wants to watch women's NBA. And the only women's NBA player that everyone does want to watch, they all hate because she's better than all of them. I think I've got that right.
So the WNBA lost $40 million in 2024 and is projected to lose the same in 2020.
40 million, my bad. I'm sure they're 400 million in debt to the NBA though. The actual NBA, not the WNBA.
25. The NBA subsidizes $15 million of this loss annually. So after the subsidy is paid out, that's still $25 million in losses. You have 144 players in the WNBA. That means it's $173,611 per player. The average salary of WNBA players is $147,745. Way too much.
How the hell are they earning that much money when they're shit? I can understand the best one in the league earning that. But how are these shit basketball players earning over $100,000 a year? They can't even entertain a room full of people, and they're getting over $100,000 a year. What planet are you Americans on? I thought you got rid of this woke shit.
Meaning you'd have to take a full pay cut to reduce down the $173,000 in debt that all of you owe, and then you would have to pay out $28,836 just to play in the WNBA to be at break even. Nobody owes you anything, but actually all of you owe $28,836. That is so tough.
That's hilarious. And, pay us what you owe us. A lot of the women that say that and demand equal pay, what about OF chicks who are making like 10 million a week?
What? What's she called? Okay, so Caitlin Clark is the person I was on about. She's called Caitlin Clark, right? Okay, so all the other women basically in the league, literally,
to create a -1.
They're so jealous of her that they attack her. When really, she is literally the reason why people watch this game of women NBA. Women like this who can actually play, who put their life and soul on the fucking court and don't think it's some beauty pageant for a better life, right? We'll happily pay to see a woman like that. But the rest of you who don't really give it your all, I'm sorry, men aren't going to pay for that. Watch how they treat her. Watch.
Caitlin Clark has been cleared due to the amount of cheap shots and flagrant fouls she's received so far in her rookie season.
This is classic female jealousy for you, by the way. Classic female jealousy. They will attack females around them who they think are better than them. They will attack them to make themselves feel better.
NBA has had 30 flagrant fouls this season. Doesn't seem like that much, but the issue is that 5 of these 30 flagrant fouls have been committed against Caitlin Clark. And of the 5 flagrant fouls that have been committed against Clark, 4 of them have been committed by the Chicago Sky. So yeah, 17% of all flagrant fouls in the entire WNBA this season have been committed against one player. And 80% of those flagrant fouls on that player have been committed by one team alone. But how bad are all of these flagrant fouls or cheap shots really? Were all of them warranted to be a flagrant foul? What about some of the petty cheap shots that she's received that weren't called as technical fouls? Well, today we're going to look into every flagrant foul, how that happened in the court, and pulls up for a deep 3 in transition. The defender goes to contest the shot, but a controversial call in the 27 defender's leg, which can lead to a serious injury. Exact same thing, but I wouldn't say all that. This next instance, the Chicago Sky, which the shooter gets once they land, just like the previous one. The defender landed in the landing zone, which the shooter gets once they land back onto the ground, between the W and respect the bench, just to shoulder bump Clark on the back. Flagrant foul.
See? Insecure female behaviour. Trying to assert herself as more dominant than the dominant female. I know it sounds stupid, but this is animal behaviour. Animal behaviour.
But it was by any unintended. Get ready. Instance was screen that nailed play, but were. Thomas Clark was simply trying to get through a screen set by Alyssa Thomas, but Thomas put her right shoulder and forearm to Clark's neck and face and knocked Caitlin Clark straight to the ground. For her season against the Chicago, Angel Reese whacked her again to the basket, and while she went to attempt a layup, Angel Reese whacked her again, leading to Clark falling.
See what I mean? Instead of these women thinking, right, I will make myself better at basketball than her, they just go out to try and stop her being good. Like, why don't they just train every day until they're better than her? But no, all they're doing is whinging about not getting paid as much as men. I wonder fucking why. Do you know how we treat men who are the best at their game?
One calls for days?
See? Look at this boy looking up to him as a hero. You see now how everyone treats this man with respect. They're not punching him and slapping him in the face to win cheap fouls. He's shown respect. And do you know why? Because he's earned it. And Caitlin Clark has earned all the respect of all the basketball players all over the world. I was on the basketball team in my school. Wasn't very good, terrible, but I was still on the team. I can still play basketball, and she deserves respect. And all you women in America shouldn't be disrespecting her on the court the way you do. Like, hitting her in the face and stuff. Instead of trying to be better at basketball, you're trying to make her worse. That's pathetic. And if it wasn't for her, that league would be earning about 50% less money. So you should all be thanking her for the fact that you're getting paid so much. Because it's because of her you're all getting paid so much fucking money. It's not because of you lot. It's not because of the attendances. It's because of players like her.
And there's dudes on there doing the exact same thing, getting $10 a week. So shouldn't they be getting paid the same?
For the last time.
What about that 15-year-old boys team that beat the professional women's football team? Shouldn't the 15-year-old boys team be getting the same money as the professional women's team, seeing as they beat them?
The worst part about non-monogamy is when your partner, your nesting partner, that's the partner you live with, goes on a date with somebody whose name is your dead name.
Dead name, what does that mean?
It means the name before they transitioned.
And then you have to hear your dead name in your house. It's my favorite.
Mate, have some cow pole or something, or cough syrup. Sound like Darth Vader on this video.
Overweight single mom who lives with her parents wants man who makes $5 million a year to marry her under a prenuptial agreement that he doesn't have access to the wealth in a trust that she doesn't know the rules of or how much is in it. Does that summarize it?
Yeah, but you know, I get it. I'm overweight.
That's not the key and point.
That's all she heard was she's fat.
What I'm looking at is the idea versus the reality of the thing.
I think what he's just trying to say, it's a bit not realistic. I mean, $5 million a year.
And I keep saying that these are my standards right now. It can change when I meet the right man. God doesn't know what he's going to put for me.
Why would God send a man with $5 million to suffer?
What?
I'm sorry, wait, how would you...
Let's hear that again.
standards right now. It can change when I meet the right man. God doesn't know what he's going to put for me.
Why would God send a man with $5 million to suffer?
What?
I'm sorry, wait, how would he
suffer?
How would he suffer?
If we are to assume for a moment that you think, okay, I'm a prize or I'm the prize or whatever, I wonder if women ever internalize this in their prayer of the thing want, the thing I want. I want thing, I pray for thing. That you might, right? And if you did, why would God send a man to suffer for you?
Yeah, this is just next level delusion. We hear a lot of that on the channel, but this is...
All of them women didn't understand how he would be suffering because of her. Like this horrible woman who's just using him for money and doesn't really care about him as a man, what he wants, how he feels, and him as a human being. Literally just wants the things someone else has and is willing to use them to get it. And the other women don't understand how that is suffering for a man. They don't understand that that is torture. Like, it's like a man using you for a baby, then fucking off. Like, he pretends he wants a relationship, doesn't really want a relationship, he just wants you to have a baby, and then once you have the baby, dumps you and leaves you. That would be the equivalent of using a woman for something. So, if you're using a woman just for a baby, is that not making her suffer? Checkmate, bitches. Checkmate.
Up there, 5 million a year? Like, there's nothing wrong with saying you want a good man, but this man she's looking for, I don't think he exists. And I think she's got other problems in her life she needs to prioritise first.
How do you define patriarchy?
I don't know the right word, but it prioritizes men in society and give...
No, that would be the matriarch. The matriarchy... No, sorry, that's right, patriarchy, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I got them mixed up. My bad.
Gives them kind of an advantage.
And do you think here in the United States we have that? That exists?
I'd love to know what this advantage is, guys. I really would. Because I haven't seen it yet.
I agree, yes.
How so?
I feel like...
The thing is, right, Sam, if I'm honest, it's because women, some women, not all women, some women don't hold themselves accountable. So they could never understand that when you're in the position of power, like as a king or a leader, or you're in charge of a business, or you're in charge of a family, you are accountable for when things go wrong. But because most women don't hold themselves accountable to the same standard men do, right, they could never consider the possibility that that position can be suffering. The position of power can sometimes be the position of less power because you are held accountable for all the failures of everyone else, even though you didn't do it, because you're the one who's in charge of them, right? Some women, because they don't hold themselves accountable, will never understand a man. Never. Never.
Yeah, there's still some jobs that need to be equal wage for both, and I feel like, again, with the pro-choice and with the abortion things.
Men do not have the right to get an abortion.
I was about to say, that's not really a gendered issue.
You are really right, but they do have the right to get a woman pregnant and hands off.
No, we don't. No, we don't. That's bullshit. No man has the rights to impregnate a woman and then just wash his hands of her. You would be chased for child support. You would be socially shamed. Like, the woman can also terminate the pregnancy. That's a delusion. That's a fucking delusion. Men do not have the power to just impregnate a woman and fuck off. It happens, but it's not a right. It's not normal. Like, we don't normally have that power. It's only if the woman or the relationship breaks down, you know. It's again, it's the man's fault. It's always the man's fault.
No, not.
If anything, if the woman makes that decision, which there are a lot of women who do that behind their boyfriend's back or whatever, I've seen videos about it, they can go and get that done. The guy doesn't need to be there. He doesn't need to sign anything or make sure it's consensual for him. They can go and do that on their own. And
yeah, they can kill a man's child, unborn child, and he can't do anything about it. That's why women have more rights than men in the modern world than men have rights over women, because women have finally, in the UK and USA, women have equal lawful rights to men. but they also have more rights now than men. They can literally kill a man's child, unborn child, and he can't stop them. Nobody can stop them. No man can stop them. Maybe a doctor, but no. Apart from that, no. So you can literally, as a woman, kill a man's unborn child and have the right to do that, and he can't stop you. He has no right to stop you, which is why in 2025 in the UK and USA, men have less rights than women. Because we can name lots of rights women have that men don't have. For example, in the USA, men are subject to what's called the draft. So they have to sign up for military conscription at a young age. If they don't do it, they get punished. Lower credit ratings, lower financial opportunities, lower job opportunities, and basically the United States' government treats you like shit because you didn't sign up for the military if they needed you, right? So women in America can vote to send the country to war, but they themselves wouldn't have to fight in it. So they can vote to send other men to die, but they themselves wouldn't have to fight in the war they voted to start. So that's two rights in America a woman has that a man doesn't have. They have the right to send a man to war and not fight in it. And secondly, they have the right to kill a man's unborn child and there's nothing he can do about it. Alright? There's two rights a woman has, a man does not have.
I've seen many videos where girlfriends have gone and done it, come home and told their boyfriend a week later, oh yeah, I went and got so-and-so, it's gone. How did that even happen?
No, not really.
Yes, they can. Yeah,
They can what?
For child support, but I don't think that's comparable to having to have a child.
Yeah, they should probably force the man to get married to the woman, yeah. I agree.
No, I don't think so.
Why? Then you're just keeping yourself stuck for life.
But
with
just
a
because a
person?
man gets you pregnant does not mean you're gonna raise a big happy family. That's not realistic.
I'm really confused because how can they agree having a baby with a guy who they don't see as, you know, having a family and all that with? Well, don't sleep with the guy then. Why are you having unprotected sex with men when you don't even see that guy as a worthy father, husband, you know, someone you're gonna have a family with? Have they ever thought of that?
That just makes no sense. I mean, it's just bullshit.
Tell me you're a Trumper without telling me you're a Trumper. I'll go first.
Here we go.
To be honest, I don't see anything with an American flag as a Trumper because before Donald Trump was president, like, you'd have people walking around with a American flag suit, with an American flag, like, top hat, in like an American flagged car. Like, American flags are not Donald Trump's thing. Like, Americans have always loved their flag. You just literally salute your flag every day at school and sing a song to it, don't you? So it's got nothing to do with being Trump. Like having a barbecue that was had the American flag. That's like saying because I wear the Great British flag, I'm a supporter of this politician or that politician. That's just delusion. That's fucking delusion. Like, are you telling me that Americans who don't support Trump can't buy a barbecue that has an American flag on it, because otherwise you're going to think they're a Trump supporter? What world do you lot live in America? You poor people have such dumb people around you, don't you? Like, because there's so many of you, 300 million, you've got more stupid people than the UK. We've got a lot of stupid people. A lot of them. But you've got 6 times as many people as us, so it seems you have 6 times as many stupid people.
America.
That is cool.
Learn to live again. Do you guys remember this?
So it's a problem now that American people want to go into an American shop and buy a flipping barbecue with an American flag on it to celebrate the country they are in. That makes them a bad person, or whatever she's labelling them. Right.
I would just like to say that to all my subscribers and all my accounts, you know, there's several thousand of you on TikTok and on across, well, on TikTok alone there's a few thousand of you, and then there's a few thousand across Facebook and YouTube, Instagram. Right, all of you out there, if any of you are Americans who have supported Donald Trump over the last 10 years, right, I'm not going to hold it against you. I just think you need to accept that you keep getting brainwashed by the FBI and the CIA and the media into believing a load of bullshit. Like, you in America, especially, all of you, need to understand that the government is constantly, intentionally dividing you. Left and right, Republican versus Democrat, whites versus black, women versus men, poor versus rich, religious versus non-religion, single versus married. Honestly, the American government constantly divides you lot so that you don't address problems like the Epstein list. Like, simply, how is it that the US government didn't go after the people involved? Like, ask yourselves that. How did they not go after him? Not Jeffrey Epstein, the people involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Because if it was a mafia dealing drugs and murdering people, they would have brought in everyone linked to it. Every single person involved in that, everyone named in that assessment would have been brought in by the FBI. They would have been assessed by the CIA. Their local law enforcement would have been monitoring them. Like, every single person who was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. But what happened? Nothing. None of them. None of them got investigated or charged. Nobody else got investigated and charged bar the woman who helped him. None of his clients, none of his customers, none of his associates, none of them. So the American government is the biggest terrorist in the world. Specifically the CIA. Specifically the CIA. You guys literally interfere in elections all over the world. And then when people interfere in your elections, you're kicked off. Like, you've installed civil wars in countries like Cuba and other countries like Syria and places so that you can get your own guy in charge, which again is terrorism. But you think that's normal? Like, to instigate your own American guy in charge of another country by instigating a civil war and profiting from selling arms to all of the sides. Like, yous aren't good guys in this world. I know you Americans think yous are the heroes and saviours, but yous are actually the biggest terrorists on the planet. And it's because you let your government brainwash you. It's not because you're bad people. It's not because you're stupid. It's because you let the American government and your media brainwash you. That's what it is. And they use every tool in the book to do it. Religion, money, sex, drugs. They do it all just to control you. So I don't blame any of you for supporting Donald Trump and him being best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. I don't blame you. I understand that brainwashing is a powerful tool. Believe you me.
Just think about how it's kind of surreal that you wake up every morning and get ready for work. Meanwhile, there's somebody's family member sitting in a concentration camp.
Sorry? Concentration camps? Am I missing something? I think she should get herself to a camp though, maybe a boot camp or something.
That camp.
I think she could learn something from that.
That camp.
I'm just calling my mom.
No, I get it. I don't have my phone on me.
Nobody wants me to call my mom, apparently. I was trying to find my phone in the car.
Your phone's right here.
Please, I need my phone. I don't know how to open this car.
They're not letting me call my mum.
It's her fault.
What? She's just admitted to being on the phone while driving to her cousin and then said it's her cousin's fault. Where's the responsibility for this? The accountability. Where? Where's the accountability that she nearly killed someone? She nearly killed herself. And who's she blaming? Her cousin. Because she picked up the phone.
What a donut.
All these men for what? What do you want us to do?
Okay, let's get back for a phone. The tow truck's here.
You guys don't need to record this.
Not recording.
I see your phone. I'm not stupid.
I'm FaceTiming.
I think you are.
No, I'm FaceTiming my girlfriend. Yeah.
She was driving on the phone. I'm sorry, it's her own fault. Like, I kick off, I go wild when I see people on their mobile phones when driving. Like you think that your fucking mobile phone is more important than human life? Like, are you stupid?
So I could tell her not to use the phone when she's driving.
What an idiot!
Women versus accountability is a rare thing. She blamed her cousin and all those men who were there to help her. All these men here for what? While she probably goes around saying men are useless.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a donut.
Look at this shit. Oh yeah, the police are so impartial, going round with a fucking rainbow over the top of it.
What the?
That's not impartial, is it? It's no wonder they lost the court case.
This is my faith.
Literally, the police in the UK have just lost a court case because they don't remain impartial, and they've just literally lost in court. Now, can you imagine losing in court as the police? Fucking bad enough, isn't it?
Okay, we are cooked.
A toddler was suspended from a nursery after they were accused of being transphobic or homophobic. I just cannot believe this. Department of Education.
A toddler doesn't even know what words mean. They can't be transphobic.
Data revealed the child is either 3 or 4 years old. The Department of Education spokesman said all pupils and staff should feel safe.
Guarantee you it was a trans teacher. I guarantee you it was a trans teacher who didn't like the truth that this boy said, oh, well, they're just a girl, or they're just a boy, right? Guarantee you they didn't like that truth and tried to silence it by suspending this boy. Now, that's what people try to do when you're right, but they don't want to admit it. They'll try and silence you. Because if you're wrong and you just look stupid, people will just let you say it to look stupid, because then they get to laugh at you, right? But if you're right, and they know other people will agree with you, they will try and silence you instead of admitting that.
I can't believe I'm reading this. Should feel safe and protected at school and should never face violence or abuse. The Education Secretary has been clear that she expects school leaders to enforce good behaviour, and we are committed to a comprehensive programme of behaviour to support all schools. I'm lost for words, Adam.
So how's it inclusive if you're going to exclude a child for their views? That's not inclusive, is it? In fact, that is the opposite of inclusive. You're excluding straight, normal children for having normal beliefs.
I've got to say, this school needs to be looked at and...
Close it down. Close the fucking school down. We don't need schools like that, to be honest.
And the people making the decisions in the school need to be investigated, because a 3 or 4 year old, I've got a 5-year-old girl at home, she doesn't know anything about the world. She just about knows, her name and a few things she's learned at school. This is ridiculous. I'm called transphobic because I don't want men in women's spaces. I don't believe men can become women.
Anyone who calls you a transphobe, just call them a heterophobe. Literally, done. Just if you get called a transphobe, call them heterophobic. Done.
Which is a fact. So I get labelled transphobic for those views, and they shouldn't be in sports either. But a toddler, come on, this is disgraceful. This school needs to be looked at immediately, because this is astounding.
It's an evil world we live in.
I was really hoping that this was a joke. What is wrong with these people, man? What is wrong with these people? This is part of the reasons why, if I have kids... They ain't going to be going to a public school, that's for sure. I'm going to keep them away because a lot of these places are just getting worse.
Yeah, they're getting worse. Like, I've got a little girl in middle school, right? And, you know, the teachers are supposed to mark down any time there's a violent incident at the school. But there was this boy going around attacking the girls, and they weren't even writing it down. And then it got to the point where my little girl hit him back because I taught her how to defend herself. And they were trying to make out that he was trying to make out that she started it and all that. And I rang the school asking to have a word with the head teacher about it because she'd been getting hit at school for months, and she told me she was telling the teachers. Literally told me she was telling the teachers nothing was happening. We're talking about a boy hitting a girl here, right? And the teachers were doing nothing. Nothing. So I taught her how to defend herself. And then, when she had to defend herself, they tried to punish her for it. And I rang up the school. I was like, no, I want to word with your head teacher. You lot should have been writing down all the times she was getting attacked and all the times there's violence. And if you haven't, that's negligence. Like, this issue's been escalating and escalating, and it's got to the point where my daughter's had to defend herself, and you're punishing her for it. Like, so I can understand this, it's bullshit. And I guarantee you it's because the person who was attacking my little girl is not white. But I'm not allowed to say things like that, am I? I'm not allowed to say that the school's racist, and that they allow white kids to get bullied by brown kids, simply because they're too afraid of being labelled racist by telling off a brown kid. So they allow brown kids to be racistly abusive to white kids out of fear of they being called racist for punishing the non-white kid. I'll probably get arrested for saying this. You remember that couple was arrested in England for that WhatsApp group talking about stuff at school? You watch, they'll try and arrest me for saying that. You fucking watch. Go on, please. Do it. Do it. Do it.
You know, parents take their kids to school and they trust that those teachers will give them an education, not be doing all this BS in the schoolhouse as well.
I wasn't actually going to respond to any of these comments because I know they're not being asked in good faith. But because so many of you have requested specific examples, I decided I'd give you a couple. But before I do that, I want to acknowledge the fact that just because you and people in your immediate circle aren't feeling the negative consequences of these laws being removed or reversed does not mean it's not bad. Any right being removed that causes a negative effect for any human being that is living in the United States is a problem.
What right's being removed? Nobody's right's being removed. People's rights are being enforced. I think she's talking about the immigration thing. So that the rights of people are being enforced. That's what's happening. It's not that people's rights have been removed. It's the American citizens' rights are being prioritised over foreign national rights. And that is the way it should be.
Problem. Period. But now that I've gotten that out of the way, I'll give you a few examples of rights that have been taken away. Let's start with the right to due process. What about birthright citizenship? What about women's rights to reproductive health?
What about men's rights to stop women killing their babies? Oh, that's right. You don't care about men's rights. It's only that, it's only when you get affected. It's only when something affects you, dear. That's a problem. It's not when, someone else has a problem. It's only when you have a problem that you expect us to care. But when we have a problem as men, you don't care. But when you as a woman have a problem, you think we men should care. How about no?
Care.
The official partner of the...
What about civil rights for members of the LGBTQ plus community?
They've already got the rights. They've got the human rights as everyone else. But do you know what they don't have the rights to do? Is to go into women's only spaces when they're men. Right? That's the law. That's the way it is. Just because I believe I'm a dolphin doesn't mean I can go to a zoo and start swimming in the tank with the dolphins because I think that's where I'm supposed to be. Does it? Does it? So, a man can't chop off his penis and put on a dress and go in a woman's changing room and claim that's where they're supposed to be. Because it's no different to me claiming I'm a land-based dolphin and doing some squeaky noises, going to a zoo and going swimming in the tank and then kicking off saying, well, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm a land-based dolphin. I identify as a land-based dolphin, so I should obviously be with my other dolphins. I wanted to swim. This is where dolphins swim. It's the same logic. Maybe next we'll just have adults identifying as children and going back to school. Is that the next thing you want? Because that sounds like where it's going, and that sounds an awful lot like child ex-offenders are in charge of America, doesn't it?
What about the rollback of diversity, equity, and inclusion policies? I personally think those are all super important.
Stop it. Get some help.
Body count is so...
Have you noticed how, like, all the LGBT community wanted, like, trans people to get equal rights for, like, jobs and things, and treatment, but they never mention equal rights for, like, other people, like the disabled, you know, like schizophrenics and people who are bipolar or have multiple personality disorder, depression, anxiety disorders, you know, people who get mistreated in mental health wards and asylums and sanatoriums and places like this, right? People who get literally human experimentation and torture and don't have equal rights to the rest of us. You notice how trans people never mentioned them? Never once mentioned the rights of others. Only their rights. Just saying that I don't give a fuck when a man puts a dress on and tells me I need to care about his rights as a woman when he doesn't care about the rights of schizophrenics in mental health wards being persecuted because of the way they were born. Why should I care about him? Why should I accept his delusion that his rights are more valuable than that disabled person's rights? Because they're not.
Stupid. Having sex with somebody, the same person, 300
It's Brian's show. You gotta let him be quiet. It's literally his show. Either shut up or leave.
times is the same difference as 300 people having sex with that one person. Because it's not about the body count. It's about who has that woman's mind.
So, okay, what about my position on body count do you think is hypocritical?
I don't know. What's your position on body count?
It happens to be my preference, and I prescriptively give advice to men that they should find women to date who have a low body count.
I also agree with the same thing. I agree, men, you should never have a relationship with a woman who has a very high body count. Now, what you think a high body count is will be different to you. I think when you're a teenager as a man, I think a high body count is anything over 4, to be honest. Anything over 4 in your teenage years is a high body count. In your 20s, for a female, a high body count would be anything over 10 or 15. In your 30s, anything over 20 is a high body count. For a woman. I'm not talking about for men here. For men it's different, right? But for women, that would be my position. Anyone who's got a body count over 20 at 30 is basically a slag. She's basically a whore. She's had more rides than a fucking theme park, right? So, if a woman was like at 10 body count at 30, I would consider that fairly low. But also not very low, but slightly low, we'll say. But a body count of 10 at 21? Yeah, I'm going to consider her an OnlyFans girl. It depends on the age and the body count. I know you all like to talk about body count, but age does matter. Because if you've only been allowed to have sex legally for a year, and you've got a body count of 10, that's really bad. Like, that's seriously, seriously bad, isn't it? But if you've been legally able to have sex for 40 years and you've got a body count of 10, that's fairly healthy. That's fairly normal. That shows that you've actually had some successful relationships in your life and you are attractive to the other sex and, you've had some success. Like, I wouldn't consider 10 people a lot at my age. But if I was a teenager, yes, that's a hell of a lot. So you've got to start using age in this as well.
What about yours?
Well, why would that matter?
That's hypocritical right there.
That wouldn't be hypocritical.
That is hypocritical because why should a woman's body count matter? How much money do you make?
Wow, great.
Pocket
reverse
watching
Uno.
is a sin.
Congrats on the reverse Uno.
Yeah.
Have you ever dated a man who makes more money than you?
Yeah.
Wow, you're a fucking hypocrite.
So you
I
can
don't think that
apply
makes
standards to a woman, but she can't apply them to you. And then
No, a woman can apply that to men, but the truth of the matter is, women prefer men with a higher body count because they prefer the experience. They don't want to have to teach a man how to make her happy, which is what they would have to do with a virgin. They would not only have to teach him how to please her sexually, but how to please her emotionally and mentally. So not just physically, right? So most women, I would argue, 90% of women are not up for that shit. And the 10% who are have just got sick of experienced men and want to be the experienced one for a change. That's why they're dating men with no experience. I still reckon nearly all women prefer a man who's experienced to one who isn't experienced. Whereas men, we prefer the opposite. We don't want a woman who has, like, been with another man for 20 years. I mean, it'd be better than, being with 20 different guys. Much better. But if you're a woman who's been with 20 different guys, like, that's disgusting. No. It's we can't help it. It's literally built into us naturally as animals, where we are physically repulsed and disgusted by women who have too much sex. Not too much sex, have sex with too many males. Because what it tells us is that you can't be trusted to have our children. Because we would never know if it was our children or not, because you can't keep your legs closed. Because you've slept with so many men, no men could know who your child was. So biologically, naturally, as animals, we are off-put. We are put off by any woman who sleeps with lots of men. I've been saying this since I was a kid, and women laughed at me for it, but honestly, it's the truth. Men are disgusted biologically, mentally, and emotionally by women who sleep with too many men. We are. Now, there's the opposite side. Men view women in two ways, you see. We've got one for sex and one for relationships, okay? So, sex is fun, relationship is serious, okay? Now, most men will sleep with a lot of women just because they looked good. They would sleep with them. They would have sex with them. But a relationship? No. 90% of them, 99% of them in fact, no, the men would not have relationships with. So just because a man would sleep with a woman doesn't mean he would have a relationship with her. Not in a hell's chance. Not in a hell's chance. And this is where some women mess up. They think just because a man will sleep with them, that they're attracted to them, that there's a relationship. No. Men have two different views. You're either viewed as sex or you're viewed as a wife. And if you dress with your tits out, guess which one you are? You're not a wife, are you? Like, a wife is someone who's modest. Modest. If your tits are out, you're not modest. You're instantly the group of sex. Like, I'm not being horrible, women, but literally the way you act and behave and dress dictates which group you go into. So if you dress in lots of revealing clothes and you act like dominant, boyish, you're going to be seen as the sex-only type. Whereas if you're a very effeminate woman who's modest, caring, emotionally understanding, if you treat a man right and you're modest, he's probably going to ask you out on a date. But if you dress provocatively and get the old boobs out to try and get him to ask you on that date, he's going to start viewing you as sex only, and he'll go on the date with you to have sex with you, not to sleep, not to have a relationship. Like, that's what you women will change yourselves from being worth a relationship and trying to attract a man into a relationship, and you'll make yourself only seen as sex. I know it sounds stupid, well, how do I know so much about men and women, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm a schizo, right? I think a lot. And so does the other voices in my head. So We worked it out. And the truth of the matter is, men don't mind a little bit of revealing. If you're in a relationship with them and they're going out with you, sure, a little bit, tiny bit. But if you're looking for a relationship, the last thing you should be doing is getting your tits out. That's the last thing you should do. Because if a man sees you with your tits out, sex only, instantly, sex only. Now, you might make him want to think there could be a relationship, and he might think there is a relationship there because he finds you so attractive that he's kind of hypnotized. But once the hypnosis wears off, guess what's going to happen? He's going to leave. Or he's going to cheat because he didn't actually want you in the relationship. He just wanted to sleep with you. And he enjoys sleeping with you. So he's going to pretend to have a relationship with you to keep sleeping with you. But you made yourself sex only from dressing provocatively. So I don't know how else to explain it, women, but literally you can either make yourself appear to men as sex only, or you can make yourself appear as relationship material. But some women who want relationships try and use sex to get it. And if you use sex to try and get a relationship, you're just going to be seen as sex. And the relationship will be all about sex. It won't be about caring about you as a woman and your needs as a human being and your mental and emotional state. No, it won't be about that. It'll be about see you later. That'll be it. Because you have advertised yourself as sex only, so that's what you got. Men are simple creatures, women. And you, women, are just as simple.
The fact that it matters to you says more about you, because you worried about a woman body count and you should be worried about.
All I'm saying here is just telling everyone you've got a high body count without actually telling everyone that they've got a high body count. That's all she's showing.
How you can take over her mind.
I love that.
Because it ain't about the mind. It
That's
ain't
a
about
bunch
the
of word
sex.
salad right there. I appreciate the word salad.
Go ahead. It's a bunch of word salad to you,
thank
of
you,
course.
appreciate it.
We ain't even got to say why a woman having a high body count is a horrible thing. We've said it many times, but she's got a high body count and she doesn't want to be accountable, and the wall is undefeated. She's going to meet it pretty soon.
She's already at the wall. Look, do you really think that a woman who is attractive without trying to be attractive needs to get her tits out? No. The only women who get their tits out like that are women who crave attention because they are no longer getting the attention they want, so they're doing that to get the attention.
We've said it many times, but she's got a high body count and she doesn't want to be accountable, and the wall is undefeated. She's going to meet it pretty soon.
Today, I turned down a second interview for a position because I shared that I am part of the LGBT plus community and I need to find a workplace that is LGBT plus friendly. I could tell immediately as soon as I brought it up to her. I was like, this is a big part of my identity. It's something that I'm not going to hide about myself, so I need to find a workplace that is LGBT plus friendly. And I could see...
I don't think you need to hide it. You got the haircut, the monobrow, and you're saying the same things they all seem to say. So pretty sure that person knew without you actually telling them, pal.
the smile immediately fade from her face, and I was like, ah, shit.
Why is it that people think bringing their personal problems into a workplace is now normal? Like, do you think your workplace really gives a fuck about who you scissor with? Nobody cares, right? Nobody cares. Keep it at home. You go to work, you do your job, you do a good job, you go home, you get paid. Shut the fuck up, right? Leave your personal problems outside the workplace. You leave your personal problems at the door when you go to work. I'm sorry, but you do. I know it's almost impossible. You know, people die, we lose our pets, relationships break down, we lose things, people have things stolen, things happen, right? I get it. But from a business point of view, right? I'm very good at business. It's one of my best subjects. From a business point of view, they don't give a fuck about your personal problems. They only care that it's affecting the money. Right? So, they don't care that she's LGBT. They don't care. They care that it's now going to affect the money. So you should leave your personal shit at the door. Because when you go to work, it doesn't matter if you're trans or gay, whether you're a woman or a man, doesn't matter if you're fat or thin, or short or tall. You've got a job to do, and you get paid for it, so fucking do it and shut up. Right? Simple.
I was like, damn, fuck. I really shared that part of myself.
I really don't know how I managed to turn Sam's 25-minute videos into an hour-long reaction. I don't know how I do it. I'm like a magician.
And you do not want me to work for you anymore. I get it. That's the thing, though. Conservatives or moderates just want you to not talk about it so they don't get uncomfortable.
No, it's that LGBT is like religion. It has no place in the workplace. Do you know, in workplaces, you're not supposed to talk about two things, essentially. Politics and religion. Now, they've also, in recent years, included other things. Sex. Football teams was a recent one. One of my last jobs, they stopped us talking about football because there was rivalries. Woo. People were having a laugh. You know, fucking, oh no. People were having a good time at work. We can't have that. So, like, why does she think her sexuality matters to her employer? Like, whether she's comfortable or not at the workplace is irrelevant. She has a job to do. Either she does it or she doesn't. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're a baker, it doesn't really matter if you're a gay baker or a lesbian gay baker or a fat or thin or tall or short baker. What matters is you have to bake and make money from it. And if you don't, you fail. Let's see, is a banker any different? Okay, so a banker could be a female, a male, short, tall, thin, fat, gay, straight. Hell, could be into fucking necrophilia, right? They still have to be a banker, don't they? You can literally apply this to any job in the world, and your personal problems don't matter. You have to do your job or shut the fuck up.
I am not going to be in a workplace where I'm going to spend 40, possibly even 50 hours of my week and not talk about my personal life and the...
What? You realise that talking about your personal life at work is not normal? Like, you're supposed to be working? Why are you talking about your personal life at work? What? Why?
People that I love and what my life is like, I am not going to hide parts of myself to make you comfortable.
I mean, telling people that your partner's name is a female name, I don't think makes them uncomfortable. I think they know perfectly well.
It's not how it works. That's how conservatives want it to work, but...
No, I think that's how you want conservatives to think and feel, and they don't, and it's pissing you off. I think that's the case. I think you're sitting here lying to all of us and yourself.
Just because you're uncomfortable doesn't mean that I need to hide myself. And it was okay. Nothing crazy happened. We just both agreed this isn't going to work, and I left. But that is a big issue for queer people specifically. I do need to turn down positions that could be great jobs because of that.
Does she not understand that some women have, like, become the most rich and powerful women in the world by, I'm sorry to say it, sucking it up? Forgive the pun, ladies. I didn't mean that. I thought it was funny. Literally, do you think all these women who are so successful in the workplace have never faced sexual discrimination? Have never been treated differently because they're a woman? And then gone and been like, well, I need to find an employment space where I am treated the way I think I deserve. No, they didn't. They just went, fuck you, I'll show you twats. I'll become your boss. And then we'll see who's in charge. Like, come on. Her mentality is so fucked up, man.
And because other people are uncomfortable.
Why does this person think that the world cares about what?
They want us to care, Sam. They want us to care, and they don't like that we don't care. because it's their entire identity. And so if nobody cares about something they built their entire identity on, they figure that means nobody cares about them. And they can't stand that. But that's just a delusion, isn't it?
He or she is saying, I don't know. But you're going for a job.
It's a she.
It's weird, isn't it? How these people have to put that LGTV stuff as a label on everything they do. Like, no one cares. If you follow that, great. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. That's like me going into a job interview and saying, I'm part of the PS5 community, just so you know, and if none of you, agree with that, then I'm not going to work for you guys.
I'm just saying, Sam, like, consoles for noobs, mate. You want to get yourself a gaming computer. I mean, check this bad boy out. Oh, well, it's on the video. You see, you want to get yourself a gaming computer, mate. Not a PS5. Fuck that shit. PS5's for noobs. Loser.
Like, wear a flipping crash helmet, mate. Like, get over it.
You're a victim.
Here we go. Hi, Gorge.
That is a robot. Oh my god. What the fuck?
What is happening?
What the fuck?
I've seen it all now.
Yes! So cute! Bye, robot! Ah, it's waving at us! Give me a high five!
Couldn't you just, like, put that in the back of a van and, like, take out the GPS tracker and then you've just scored for, like, $1 million? Am I missing something here, America? Like, someone with enough technical ability, if you took that in a van to them, could remove any tracking hardware, format the software on the hard drive, and you'd basically have all the stock value of all the components and equipment, and you could sell the robot as a blank robot to criminals. This is why I don't tell you lot things, you see? I'm full of good ideas. You could use that robot yourself. You could take it and reprogram it and be like, here. You could make it your own bitch. It says here, not Elon's bitch, but you could make it your own bitch.
I don't know if that's a Rizbot. I would just have called it Gaybot. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, Gaybot.
He was acting suspicious.
Fucking Gaybot.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
You are gay.
One killer of children in the United States is gun
abortion.
Gun violence.
Abortion.
Gun violence.
Abortion.
Abortion is illegal in Tennessee. The number one killer.
You said the United States. You didn't say Tennessee.
Children in Tennessee.
I love the pedanticness. Love it.
Okay, so you're switching your words now, though. You're switching your words now.
The number one killer of children in the United States and in Tennessee is gun violence.
If it's the United States, then it's not gun violence. It's abortion.
It is. It is.
Would you disavow abortion?
You're switching topics here.
If you're talking about protecting kids, then I could flip it on you and say your idolatry is abortion. So could you disavow abortion?
I'll never have an abortion.
Yeah, of course, but could you disavow?
That's just changing the subject.
It? Could you tell? Could you? No, you're not. You're backing your own self into a corner.
It's idolatry, which is the worship of weapons, the worship of false idols.
Can you disavow abortion?
I can disavow that Satan has a grasp upon you.
Can you disavow abortion?
I can disavow that you have been led astray.
Can you disavow abortion?
Satan.
If you can't disavow abortion, then your idolatry is abortion by your definition.
That you are shrouded in a veil of satanic worship.
Can you disavow abortion?
You have fallen prey to fear, to violence.
Can you disavow abortion?
If you're going to stand out on the street with a sign looking for a debate, and then when you're presented with one, you don't want one, then maybe you should have reconsidered even going out with a sign in the first place.
He didn't want a debate though, Sam. He wanted a sheep to try and lead to Jesus and make himself feel good that he got another cult for the satanic cult that is Christianity. Right. It's ironic that he's going around with "Thou shalt not worship false idols," but I guarantee you he worships some false idols. Guaranteed.
Pow.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. You're not welcome here.
Keep going. Keep going.
We do not give you permission to video us.
You may not video us. Keep going.
You want us to call the cops?
We do not give you permission to video us at all.
They're in public.
Can you please turn it off?
I don't know what your hand motion is, but we need you to leave.
What you're doing right now is an aggressive act. You understand that? What you're doing right
They're the aggressors here, not him.
now is an aggressive act. You do not have permission.
Someone's calling right now, so you can't get in trouble for what you're doing. We've told you multiple times you don't have permission.
He's not going to get in trouble. You're allowed to record in a public place. There's nothing you can do. There's literally nothing you can do. There's cameras everywhere in public. Cameras everywhere. If you don't like being recorded in public, don't go out in public. Simple.
This is really creepy and inappropriate.
You don't have our consent to film us. Just get out.
You don't need people's consent to film them in public. You don't.
You need to get out of here. Like, seriously, why are you here? Get out of here. Why? No, you stop. Get out of here. Go. Go. Get out of here. Why are you here? Can you at least explain why you're here, disrupting our practice? We're out here trying to do yoga, and you're interrupting our practice. Why are you here? You realize the police are coming. She's on the phone with the police right now. You need to get out of here. Like, why are you here? Look at you. You're shaking. Like, you're scared to be here. Why? Seriously, why are you here? Get out of here. You've had multiple people ask you to leave. We're uncomfortable with you being here. You need to get out of here, dude. Stop filming. Stop filming. Get out of here. Get out of here, dude. You need to get out of here.
I don't understand why he's filming a bunch of women doing yoga, to be honest, in the park. That is creepy. They are right. But he technically isn't breaking any laws, so...
You need to get out of here. Stop filming.
I'm confused.
I think he's a perverse man who's maybe either using them for content or worse. I don't know.
Get out of here. Stop filming.
Conservatory Flowers, that big white building.
I'm just gonna... Do you have ID with you? Do you have your identification with you? Can you take the mask down, please? Can you take the mask down? Okay, if you're not gonna comply with our request, I'm gonna ask you to leave the area, okay? Exit the park. This way. This way. We need to ID folks to make sure that there's nothing more going on with you. I need to know...
But unless he's suspected of a crime, he doesn't have to give you ID. That's the law. You haven't suspected him of a crime, so he doesn't have to give you ID.
You're not having a medical emergency if you can't verbalize with me, right? So this way. This way.
I don't know what to do then. No, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not doing it. You know what? The way she's handling it.
Please leave.
But it is legal.
I'm asking you to please leave. Please leave.
See, you hear that? He said it is legal. And she's just laid his hand on his property. That's technically, like, she's not allowed to do that. But here, you'll hear him say it is legal.
I don't know what to do then. No, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not doing it. You know what? The way she's handling it.
Please leave.
But it is legal.
It is legal, see? That's what he said. It is legal. You can record in a public park if you want to. So him walking up to a bunch of women doing yoga and recording it, although I 100% agree with the women, he is creepy. It is weird. He should leave. I agree. But there's no law saying he has to, and he hasn't broke any laws. So when the police come and ask him for ID, he doesn't have to give them ID because he's not suspected of a crime. He hasn't convicted a crime. He hasn't committed a crime, so he doesn't have to give them ID. He can just record them as well, which is what he's doing. That's the law. I'm sorry, you just need to learn the law.
Please leave. Please leave. Please leave. Please leave the park. Please leave the area.
You know what, dude? You just immediately allied yourself with him.
I'm not
I
allying
appreciate
with
what
him.
she's doing.
I do too.
He's doing his job. He's supposed to remain impartial. He's supposed to remain impartial as a police officer. She isn't. She's not trying to enforce the law. She's trying to help the women. She doesn't care about the law. She should be sacked for that, to be honest. Like that. If I was her commanding officer, I would sack her. I would literally sack her. She's not enforced the law. She's tried to do what she wants to do, not what's right. Okay? And as a police officer, regardless of how difficult it is, regardless of how hard it is, you have to do what's right, which is follow the law, not what you feel like. Okay? And she feels like this man needs to leave. He hasn't actually got any need to leave. He doesn't need to leave at all. It's a public area. He hasn't committed a crime. They are technically now harassing him.
But look, if
Why
you
don't
move
you
it, if you
stand
leave
with
it.
her? What she just said. She just said.
She's had experience with it. You know that, right?
No, we don't know that. Has she had any experience with it?
Yes, she had.
Okay, that's why
She's had a report on it. So,
You know what?
that has need to know how.
We're the victims.
you don't need that explanation. You want results, right? Gotcha. Come on, man. You gotta understand. They just want to do their thing. Like, don't you understand? Like, it's kind of weird when they're doing their yoga and stuff. Somebody's recording. You have all the right to do that. You know that, right? But we're just asking you, as a human being, person to person, can you like give them their privacy?
Look, I'll contact the street crisis team for when people are not verbal. They can come out and make an assessment, find out what's going on with them.
She's trying to get him held under a mental health act. She's literally trying to get him treated as insane, where then he will be tortured as a human being, force injected. I would put her in prison for that. What she's just done there is medical negligence. And she's not even a medical practitioner, but she's suggesting a medical problem because he's not verbalizing with her. So she's lying to medical staff about a medical problem to try and harm this man. She should be in jail and in prison for that. I fucking swear to God, people do this all the time to people like me, where they think they can, like, use my mental disability against me as a weapon. And sometimes they use it against people who aren't even disabled. Like, she's trying to make out he is mentally unwell. If he was mentally unwell, how come he would be so able to uphold his rights and know the law?
The thing is, if this guy's just filming a bunch of women in public doing yoga, yeah, of course it's weird.
It is weird. He's a creep. He's a fucking creep. You're a dirty creep. I agree. But it's not against the law. It's not against the law. It's not a crime.
100%, but if they're going to do it outside, there's always the risk of these things happening. If
one of them will have a garden. They could do it in their own fucking garden. They want to be seen by people doing it. That's why they're doing it. They want to be seen to be doing it. They're attention seekers. And then when they got the attention from someone they didn't want attention from, oh, then it was a problem. This is one thing I don't get about attention seekers. Like, when they get attention from the wrong people, they start going wild.
If they don't like anyone seeing what they're doing, then why not do it at home or at a gym where most people do it? But yeah, if this guy's just out here filming women doing that, then yeah, he is a flipping weirdo, I'll give him that.
Yeah, I agree. He's a weirdo, but he's not breaking any laws.
You guys have to let me know what you think in the comments.
Well, thanks for the video, Sam, as always. Yeah, I mean, that's weird. I would never do that, you know, creep on people doing yoga and that. But I don't like how the female police officer was trying to lie to her officers at the station that he needs an assessment for a mental health problem, because she was trying to use the law to hurt him when he hadn't broke the law, because her first method didn't work. Do you know what I mean? Like, she should be in jail for that. That's a crime. That's literally a crime. It's called systematic abuse, where someone tries to use the system to harm you when you haven't done anything. That is literally called systematic abuse. Negligence in a public office. She should be reprimanded for a federal crime for that. That's a federal crime in America. He's a fucking daft cunt. He's a fucking daft cunt, honestly. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.